All right, so got the tent set up. This is how lazy we're getting here with this lazy camping situation. I've got an inflatable air mattress, and all I got to do is hook it up to my Jackery, and this thing should be all set, just like that. Gonna sleep in comfort tonight with the sound of the river in the background. Perfection. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Varsity Overland channel, and in today's video I'm going to do a little bit of lazy camping in this beautiful autumn weather. And by lazy camping I mean I am packing up at the last minute. I'm heading to a location that I already have predetermined, meeting up with some friends in our local state forest in a piece of private property we have permission to use. I brought the Gazelle ground tent. I don't even have my rooftop tent on, and I kind of have the bare essentials, I guess you could say. I have a chair, and I have a very small lunchbox packed with some snacks. I'm going to stop along the way and grab myself a sandwich, just like bare bones basic. Actually, you could even say the bare minimum to even qualify as camping, right? I'm going into the woods and sleeping in a tent. And I certainly wouldn't call this overlanding. I'm not covering any kind of crazy distance, going to a new location, exploring, or anything like that. I already know where I'm going. Everything's all predetermined. There's an outhouse at the gate of the state forest if there's an emergency or anything like that. So why am I doing this? Well, sometimes you have to kind of take a step back and do something very easy related to camping so that it doesn't always feel like so much work. You don't always have to drive several hours into the wilderness where there's no GPS signal and there's no Wi-Fi signal or phone signal or anything like that. It doesn't have to be a hassle every single time. You can just do the bare bones and get out there and just make the whole point of the experience simply sitting in nature, maybe with a fire, and just enjoying the peace and quiet, which is what today's goal is. I'm also using this as an opportunity to test out my new bedrack setup. If you want to check out my last video, I installed the Tiny Kit adapter for my Ibex bedrack from Kuat, and when I did that, I dropped down the crossbars one setting so that they were kind of flush with the cab of the truck. And I did that because I'm not using my rooftop tent for quite a while, and I took this as an opportunity to put the Gazelle tent on top and use a new configuration where I took the riser kit that I'm no longer using and I attached some of those parts, those L brackets, up top to help the Gazelle tent from swaying back and forth and sliding on top of the rack. So I'm going to see if that works on my drive. I do have about a half-hour drive right now. I'm going to see if that works driving at highway speeds to our location and just test it out, because I was hoping to use that setup when I go to Maine in a few weeks with some buddies. So there's a chance that bed of my truck is going to be packed during that trip because it's longer trip. So if that happens, I'm going to have to put the Gazelle tent, this one and the gazebo, on top of my bedrack. So I wanted to test it out now when it's closer. I can play with the location of these brackets and things if I have to, and it's a little bit more comfortable. It's not like a rush to figure things out as we head up to Maine. So anyway, come along for the ride. I'm probably going to put the drone in the air as well and try to get some nice like autumn, fall season changing of the color of the leaves kind of shots with the drone. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned to see if my Gazelle tent stays on top of the truck as I drive down the highway. And other than that, if everything goes well, should be quite relaxing. All right, so moment of truth. Is the tent still on? I'm not quite there yet, but I'm pretty close. I'm picking up my sandwich right now. And yeah, looks like it's still in position. Hasn't shifted at all. I've been driving so paranoid. I keep checking my rear view mirror and my side windows, and everybody that drives by me like changes lanes just to pass me. I keep wondering, like, oh, are they trying to get away from me because the Gazelle tent's currently like hanging off the truck. But yep, so far so good. Let's get some food. Got myself some Subway. Haven't actually had Subway in a very long time. And oh my, look at that beautiful rig. Occasionally I think that it looks incomplete without the rooftop tent on, but it just takes some getting used to. All right, so made it to camp, and there's a couple new developments as far as this campsite. We are very familiar with this area. We've used this camping area like a bajillion times. But yeah, so a couple new developments. We pulled down to the campsite and realized that one of the dead trees, and there's like 6 dead trees, one of them finally fell during our absence at some point over the last few months. So it was a little sketchy to us, and so we decided to pull down the trail a little bit further. Dave already has himself set up here. We're kind of in this like a little bit more wooded area. It's not so clear, but we're still here next to the river. And what's nice about using the Gazelle now is I don't have to worry if my truck is level. So I just parked it, and I'm gonna set up in this flat section right here, and I'll be super close to the river, and I'll be able to fall asleep next to the sound of the running water, which will be nice. But yeah, those trees that fell, a little sketchy, kind of threw us for a loop, and you know, was a gut check to be like, okay, maybe we don't park in our usual locations and we find somewhere else to set up camp. So I'm gonna get the Gazelle down, I'm gonna set myself up, and then we'll pop the drone in the air and see if we can see all of these awesome colors of the leaves from the sky. Mr. Dave, I'm so mad right now.
Buddy?
I'm so mad.
Why?
Because I went to go use the drone and it says that the app has a bug or something.
Oh no, so you can't.
Yeah, well, this is what happens when you don't check your equipment before you leave the house.
Oh.
So, time to take the chair, finally head over to the fire with my sandwich and a bottle of water and enjoy myself. All right, folks, well, as you can see, it is late and dark, and it's getting a little chilly, so I'm hopping in the car for a second so I can grab my sweatshirt. But yeah, currently enjoying myself. Just gonna go sit by the fire and hang out, talk with my friends. So let's fast forward to the morning, and I'll see you there. Well, good morning, people. I am the last one awake, even though it's only 7:30. I am the last one awake, and the other guys have already left the campsite. So I am just alone in the woods, taking my time, trying to enjoy myself. I'm not necessarily packing up in a hurry or anything like that. Grabbing my hat to help account for my bed head. Got my sweatshirt on this morning, and it is a little chilly. We did get a little bit of rain last night. Luckily it wasn't very heavy and it didn't last very long. It started to drizzle as we were around the fire and then stopped probably at like 9:30, maybe 10 o'clock. Crawled into the tent, fell asleep, but as you can see from the top of the tent, maybe you can see it, we got a little bit more rain, probably somewhere after midnight. Luckily it's not raining now, so packing up shouldn't be too much of a chore. But since I'm alone, I think I'm just gonna enjoy myself for a hot second and just relax. Listen to the sound of the crickets that are still making some noise, the river, and just chill. So, in keeping with the theme of lazy camping, I just had little breakfast of champions sitting on the tailgate, seltzer water with a Cliff Bar, while I was waiting for the air mattress to deflate. But I got the air mattress packed away now, and all I have to do is break down the tent. But I got to admit, I'm really enjoying just kind of like taking my time, being the only one here at the campsite in the middle of the woods next to the river. Highly recommend doing something like this for yourself. If you're someone who typically camps with other people or even just with one other person, try to do it on your own. You don't have to spend the whole night by yourself, but at least give yourself some time in the woods to just kind of like chill, listen to all the sounds, and I don't know, get lost in your own thoughts. It's just been really nice getting out here. So I guess I accomplished my goal of relaxing on this trip, this one-nighter. Why'd I say a trip? This one-nighter into the woods for my lazy camping experience. I don't even have coffee. I didn't bring anything for coffee this morning. That's why I had the seltzer water on my tailgate. So eventually that's going to catch up to me. I'm probably going to have to pick up a coffee on the way home. But 10 out of 10 recommend lazy camping for one night. Leave a comment down below if you make a point to have an experience like this every once in a while. You can do this even if you don't have a state forest that allows camping or a private property of someone you know. You can just do this at a campground if you really want to. You can find and reserve a campsite. I've got a couple of videos on my YouTube channel about campgrounds versus dispersed camping. There's pros and cons to both, but you know, lazy camping would be one of those examples, those pros, to use like a campground. You could just kind of move in at the last second, and some of the other amenities are already there waiting for you, and you don't necessarily have to stress about bringing all of the things, kind of like I did today. So thanks for sticking around, everybody. I appreciate the view. I'm just gonna hang out here for a few more minutes before I break down the tent, drive away, and yeah, next experience is going to be one of those bigger epic adventures heading out to Maine. So subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can see that adventure in the future, and I will see you next time. Peace, people.